What do you look for in a president or any political leader? A Nobel Prize winner? An environmentalist? A Medal of Honor recipient? Why not someone that was all of these things? That man was Theodore Roosevelt. People are sadly unaware of all of Theodore Roosevelt's accomplishments. Today I will discuss with you 4 reasons why Theodore Roosevelt was such a great American and a president and politician. Firstly, his military service. He volunteered to raise a regiment of cavalry known as the Rough Riders in the Spanish-American War in 1898. He went with them to Cuba, where he led a charge up Kettle Hill in Cuba against concentrated machine gun and rifle fire. According to his biography, his unit took more casualties than any other unit fighting in Cuba at the time. So this shows that Theodore Roosevelt wasn't in the rear, he was up front with his men. He received the Medal of Honor for his actions in recent years, and he's the only president to receive our nation's highest medal. He was an environmentalist. He established a national park system. He was an avid outdoorsman and hunter. You may think that being a hunter would contradict his environmentalism, but many of the animals he shot in Africa and South America are in museums and institutes across the United States today for naturalists and the general public to enjoy. He also mapped several tributaries of the Amazon River, where he caught malaria and almost died, but he continued to map the rivers for future reference. In 1906, he won the Nobel Peace Prize for brokering a peace treaty to end the Russo-Japanese War. Next, he fought for the average man. As mayor of New York City before becoming president, he would walk the streets at night just to make sure the policemen were doing their job, the streets were safe, and the citizens were okay. Can you think of any other politician that would do such a thing? Also, the square deal, that you probably are aware of the term today, getting a square deal, making sure it's fair. He coined this term back in the early 1900s by making sure the little man got a square deal, mainly against the railroads and the mining industries at the time to make sure they weren't being taken advantage of by the larger industries. Lastly, he was just plain tough. While giving a re-election speech in Milwaukee in 1912, he was shot at point-blank range in the chest. He continued to give the speech, which was 60 minutes long, and only sought medical attention afterwards. I can't think of a politician today that would give a speech and not seek medical attention, and thinking that their words are so important that they have to give them out to the public. At the age of 59, he tried to raise a regiment to fight in World War I. This was after he was president. I can't think of any former president that would volunteer to raise a regiment and go on active duty. The president at the time, Woodrow Wilson, sadly declined his offer. As I said before, he was an avid outdoorsman and sportsman. In a boxing match, though, he lost his right eye. Many people didn't even realize, though, that he lost it because he never let it slow him down. His family only realized he had lost his eye after his death. I'll leave you with a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. "Walk softly and carry a big stick. You will go far." If you think about this, it means don't go starting trouble, but if trouble finds you, you should not let it take advantage of you. I encourage you all to consider the characteristics that made Teddy Roosevelt such a great president, great politician, and great American in general when you look at future presidents and political candidates on the next election campaign that you are watching. Thank you for your time. This concludes my speech.